Welcome to lesson 1 of the AI Audience Accelerator. And in this lesson, we will talk about how to win in a competitionless market by creating your own niche. So you might think to yourself, like, how the fuck did I grow to 110K followers in such a short amount of time? And I mean, sure, talking about a big trend like AI and using AI to write content helped to grow a lot. But there were many great AI creators producing similar content at the same time. And the truth is, I did one thing different than everybody else, and that really helped me to skyrocket my Twitter growth. And that wasn't any like ultra secret marketing technique. In fact, it's one of the most basic business strategies that you can use to grow a lot faster. So what did I do? The key difference here was my positioning. So AI Solopreneur grew so fast because I created a niche where I had no competition. So basically, instead of joining the big mainstream AI party, I threw my own party with solopreneurs exclusively on the guest list. So you can see solopreneurship and AI, and I created my own niche, and I'll throw my own little party in here. And I'll show you how to create your own niche just in a second. So before we dive into the fundamentals, I need to clear one thing up with you. AI tools are just like a megaphone. They're just amplifiers, and they can make your message way louder, but if your message isn't worth hearing, all you're doing is increasing the volume of noise. And when 1,000 people are shouting the same thing, the only way to get yourself heard is to shout about something else. And you do that by nailing your positioning. So entering an existing niche is the easiest way to fail. If everyone's doing the same thing, trying to sell the same product, if you're trying to sell dates on an Istanbul bazaar, you're probably going to have a bad time and you become a commodity super fast, and more about that soon. So let's look into what happens if you don't create your own niche. And so choosing a niche per definition means you enter an already crowded market. That means you are one of many providing the same service in that market space. So if we come back to the bazaar I just talked about, if you sell the same product, the same dates like anyone else, it's just a dumb idea. And you will be seen as a commodity. And what this means is your competition will be super high because there's hundreds of other people selling the same thing as you. And it also lowers your pricing power because you're just seen as one of the many alternatives on the market. So it's often a race to the bottom pricing wise. And especially if you're new to the market, your authority will be super low because you're just one of the newest. You don't have anything to back up your claims or your pricing. So probably your pricing will be lower as well. So you should ask yourself, or you probably ask yourself now, what's the alternative? How do you stick out and differentiate yourself in an existing market like this? So little story time here. Back to March 2023. Amazing picture of myself, as you can see, sweating like a pig. And I was in Thailand at the time, and in March, sweating because it was hot as fuck. And I just thought about, okay, how can I be different in this new AI market? How can I grow faster? So AI was this super hot topic at the moment, but most AI creators, they covered the most basic stuff like AI news, AI productivity, or some like super generalized AI use cases. And these accounts grew super fast, but most of them were just talking to everybody. And I saw an opportunity to create something for a very specific reader. And those were solopreneurs. It was helpful that I am a solopreneur as well, so I already had a connection to this very specific niche. So instead of joining the competitive niches of writing about AI news, AI tips, or AI tools, I created my own niche. And that was AI content that helps solopreneurs 10x their productivity and grow their business. So that was my claim back then. Honestly, it wasn't the best one in the world, but it was specific enough to attract these kind of people with my content. And you will probably notice that my positioning really didn't compete with other existing AI creators, but rather positioned me as a complement to them. So let's have a short look at some other AI creator accounts here. A drone from The Rundown, or Zine from Superhuman. And first of all, amazing guys. They've built these amazing companies. But just here to show you a little difference, because they talk to a way broader audience. So if you look at Zine's profile, just can leverage AI to boost your productivity, building the world's biggest AI newsletter. If you try to build the biggest, it's usually talking to a broad audience as well. And also for Rowan, sharing the latest developments in artificial intelligence. So they talk to everyone. They also created huge audiences, but if you come to a marketplace and you want to create a new product and a new profile, this will really hurt you to be super broad. So niching down gives you tremendous benefits. So now let's look at what happens if you create your own niche. So coming back to your pricing power, because you're the only person or company offering this specific thing, your pricing power is way higher because you're just the only option. And you have no or little competition because you created something nobody else is offering. Your authority rebuilds will be super high because there's also no one else talking about this specific thing. And even if later someone else comes into the market, and I've seen other accounts trying to be AI solopreneurs as well, but you will be the first one and you have the authority of building up this niche. So now you probably ask yourself, like, why isn't everyone doing this? So first of all, not everyone knows about this. Only a small portion of business owners and creators are very vocal about this. And secondly, creating a niche isn't difficult, but it's scary. Because if you narrow down your content and your business, you constantly feel as if you're missing out on followers and customers. And I can tell you, that is the truth. It's scary like this, right? Oh my God, I have to create my niche. And this is how I felt when I niched down. I was like, oh man, should I talk to everyone? It's maybe easier to be the AI guy as well, right? So this was me only a couple of months ago. But I can tell you, this is an irrational fear. Because if I've just been another AI news creator, I bet my life on it, I wouldn't have seen the same amount of success. Because again, I'd be no different to any creators who were already around. So now I will show you 4 ways to niche down and create a niche for yourself. So let's get started. Let's get into this now. So as a reminder, creating a niche is the foundational step for building an audience with AI, because it doesn't matter how loud you shout. If you're shouting the same message as everyone else, you won't see any real traction. All right, let's get into the ways how to create your competitionless niche. First of all, the thing you can do is solve a unique problem. So just ask yourself, what is the problem that no one else is addressing? And I think that's the hardest but most rewarding thing to differentiate. The trick really is to think outside the box. The problem should be specific enough to be solvable, but common enough to be relevant. So I've used an example here. A niche blog that focuses exclusively on budget traveling trips for couples in their 60s, addressing the unique challenges and opportunities that traveling as a pair on a budget presents. So this is a very unique problem, right? Because this seems ultra specific. It's a couple in their 60s, and they're also traveling on a budget. But very likely there is not a lot of competition here. And if you just talk to these customers, you already have a great advantage. Maybe it's not the best customers because they don't have money, right? Because they travel on a budget. So maybe it's better if it's couples on their 60s that just inherited a lot of money. All right, let's get to the second one. So first one, solve a unique problem. Second one, you solve it for a unique customer. So who is a group of people with specific needs that have been overlooked or underserved? And overlooked and underserved is really to be underlined here. Because remember, the narrower your target audience, the more you can tailor your solution towards their needs, and the more valuable your product becomes. Example here, I niche down creating content about using AI for productivity and business, specifically for solopreneurs. So I was specifically talking to their problems, because I also know what it's like to be a solopreneur. So it can be helpful to look inside your own life and think about where could I be a unique customer, or which unique group is near to my needs, or near to my experience, close to my experience. But it doesn't have to be like this. This can be a very deliberate process of thinking about, okay, who could be a unique customer that I can serve? and who is overlooked and underserved. So always try to look at the edges. And Reddit is also a great place to look for these groups, because sometimes we think, oh, this is just such a little sub niche. It's so small. But honestly, the internet is so fucking big. We vastly underestimate how big a small, underserved audience can be. All right, let's get to the third part now. Solve the problem in a unique way. And the question you should ask yourself here is, how can you take a fresh approach to solve a common problem? Because two people can solve the same problem, but in different ways. And the how can be a differentiator. So an example here would be Duolingo, which was the first app that used gamification to make learning of a new language fun and engaging. And if you look at most other language learning apps, they felt like a chore. And Duolingo feels like a game. When you feel like, oh, I want to play this game today, and they used like little avatars and funny little reminders. So it became a completely different way of learning a language through a game. So that's a perfect example of how can you use a fresh approach to solve a common problem. Because learning a language, one of the most common problems in the world. So now let's get into some examples where I can just show you this process. All right, let's think about someone who is a solopreneur copywriter. Might be me, might be not. Just walk you through the process of niching down. So we start broad. I write anything for anyone. If you look at people offering these services, go on Upwork and see what like general copywriters charge. They don't charge a lot. They become a commodity. It becomes a race to the bottom. And usually someone living in a low-income country will win in this race, because especially if you write in English, you basically compete with everyone on the market. And so someone just charging less will probably win, because they write anything for anyone. Next one will be, I write landing pages. Oh, it was, for example, very important to me to find someone to write a landing page. There are not as many copywriters for landing pages. So already niche down more, can charge a lot more. To write landing page, you can charge a couple of thousands. Next, I would be, I write landing pages for six-figure solopreneurs. Now the product is more specific. I write landing pages, but also my target customer is more specific, with the six-figure solopreneur. And a six-figure solopreneur is also a good customer because they have money to pay me. So I guess this product could already be 3 times, 5 times the price of this one. Now we niche down even more. Now it starts to hurt. You remember the guy with the cross? Oh my God, it gets very scary here. So I write landing pages for educational courses by six-figure solopreneurs. So now the product is even more, it's specific, but it's also a little bit more uncommon to do. An educational course can bring you great results if you do email marketing. And my customer is also now a six-figure solopreneur. So this product is probably even double the price of this one, maybe even more. And again, don't underestimate the vastness of the internet. The internet is so crazy big. You wouldn't believe how many six-figure solopreneurs there are out there who want a landing page for educational course. So really take this information by heart. Let's look at another one. If I'm a SaaS owner, so I have a software as a service product, and it creates a generative text for AI, like an AI product. Very broad niche would be, our AI creates content for any businesses. So I talk to everyone. And I compete with everyone. I compete with OpenAI. I compete with Jasper. So probably my authority is still lower because I am not OpenAI. I'm not Sam Altman. So my prices will be lower, or my revenue will be lower. So now we'll niche down a little bit more. Our AI creates marketing content. So it's more specific in the type of content it creates. So now people interested in marketing would be like, oh, this was actually me some time ago. I was looking at Jasper and I was like, oh, this is tailored more towards content creators. This could be interesting. So you're already differentiating and you're already building up your authority in this sub-niche. The next one is, our AI creates social media marketing content for tech startups. So now my customer is ultra specific. But you can already feel the guy with the cross again. Oh my God, I'm only talking to tech startups. I'm leaving so much money on the table. But no, this is completely wrong. I had to learn it for myself. This is completely wrong. Like, the more specific you can get with your customer, the better. And especially if you can talk to a customer where you know, okay, they have enough money to pay for your services, or your services is potentially way more valuable to them because they sell a product that's maybe subscription based and has a lot of revenue. So this is great for tech startups. I would even say maybe tech companies, because tech startups also usually they have funding, but they most likely live on a tighter budget than maybe tech companies that already have 100 employees. So they can even change this one, the tech startups, to maybe tech companies that would even be better. And the last one would be our AI creates Instagram marketing content for B2B tech startups. Now our problem solution is even more specific because it's only Instagram marketing and it's for B2B tech startups, with this, again, is a niche inside that sub niche. It's B2B, which is usually a better market than the B2C. And now you see it's already hurting again. Oh my God, I'm losing all these customers, but you're not. You're vastly increasing your value in the market. So now I've talked a lot, long rant here. It's time for action, and just go through the same exercise. And I know this is an AI course, but it's really helpful to do this in a Google Doc first. Go through this, work on your positioning, just think it through, because this will vastly help you. And now I don't know where that came from, but it was good timing. It should feel uncomfortable. And bravo, Cardo. I don't know, the drum roll came a little bit too early. This was the lesson on how to create your niche, and I see you in the next lesson, where it's all about how to grow, engage, and monetize